I think it also showcases how metal and mainstream is starting to become more intertwined. Welcome to another episode from Takedowns to Breakdowns with A&P, and today we're here to talk about Wrestlemania. It was the showcase of the Immortals this past weekend. We're not really here to talk about wrestling, or sports entertainment, whatever the fuck it is that you want to call it.
Entertainments.
Yeah. All right. That's from a different company. But anyhow, we're here to talk about metal because there was some metal to be had at this year's Wrestlemania. Now, they didn't have a metal band playing, which they've done in the past at some of the pay-per-views, and I actually thought that would be something nice to throw in there.
Yeah.
At least maybe one or two for the main event or something.
Or because now they have both nights. They have two nights, which kind of, in my opinion, waters down the whole WrestleMania moment type thing.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, to be honest.
But yeah, like, why not have a band per night or two bands per night for the last two matches? Have, whatever.
Or have a band play the theme song. Doesn't have to be the band that originally plays the theme song.
Exactly.
But have the band play the theme song of the two main guys fighting in the main event.
Do you remember there was that NXT pay-per-view and Aleister Black came out to his theme song, but his theme song wasn't done by the original people who did it. It was done by Code Orange. And that was
fucking cool.
And that was really good. Even though Code Orange is not my favorite band.
Neither is same with me.
But they really pulled off. Like, I really enjoyed their
I really enjoyed that performance.
Yeah, I really enjoyed their version of that song.
I'm with you on that. So the night was going as you would expect it, with some glitches here and there, like Shane O'Mac blowing his knee, and then Edge.
Here comes the money.
The funny thing was Michael Cole was like, "Oh my God, he's in great shape," and then 2 seconds later, maybe not so much.
Not so much.
So anyhow, Edge had a match with the Demon, Finn Balor, a cage match, a Hell in a Cell match, I should say. And when he came on, a familiar riff was playing. I'm sure you get what song it was.
Yeah.
Slayer, South of Heaven, and I was like, what the fuck? Slayer's playing at WrestleMania? I honestly thought there was a glitch in the transmission.
But that would have been cool to have Slayer actually there playing it.
I don't think they can afford it. Plus, they retire. Well, I'm sure they can afford it because they pay the royalties anyways.
Yeah, they have to pay the royalties. Might as well have the guys show up.
For a one night?
Exactly.
I don't know, man. I don't know if Slayer would want to do that. I mean, they had to agree
to do this. You really think they would not... Like, come on.
It would be fucking cool to have Slayer there. Imagine that.
Have
Edge
Slayer,
walks out and
Slayer on one side, because how I'm going to explain the rest and then I'll say what I wanted to say. Basically what happened was South of Heaven started playing. He called me in the room. We went nuts. And then he was wearing this mask and he took off the mask. No, Edge was wearing a mask and he took off the... By the way, we haven't been watching WWE
in a very long time.
In a long time. So when you watch WrestleMania, you're just watching for the matches. You don't care about the storyline because you don't even know what's happening.
The storylines have been shit anyways.
But he took off the mask and then Alter Bridge started playing, which is his normal theme song, which we saw that same song live when we saw Alter Bridge. And to make the Slayer playing there worth it, you'd have to have Alter Bridge on one side of the stage.
But once again, they're paying the royalties
exactly.
First of all, WWE swims in money. WrestleMania is 2 nights, plus you add the Hall of Fame night on Friday and the NXT. I mean, this is a weekend where they pretty much make enough money for the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? So how cool would it have been, because the ramp is right in the middle, how cool would it have been on one side Slayer, on one side Alter Bridge? And they're kind of coming up, have a lift, lifting them up. So you lift one band, you play Slayer, you have them play the thing, then you drop them down. Then
you drop them down when he's about to take off the mask. He takes off the mask,
then the other one comes up. Exactly. How cool would have that been? I mean, spend a few extra dollars. You can charge people on their VIP packages and whatever. Just, I think would have been fucking cool.
It would have been really cool. Yeah.
I mean, this was cool to have Slayer as his walkout song. It was cool. But if they were there and Alter Bridge was there too. Wow, man, that would have been a mic drop of mic drops. Like, seriously, that would have been massive, massive. But the question I have for you is, why Slayer and why South of Heaven?
Yeah, I don't know. And also, the way it switches to Alter Bridge is very funny.
It's a little strange.
In my opinion, it's very funny.
Fuck. It would have been, what would have been really funny? if the demon that came after, because first was Edge that came to the ring,
Yeah.
And then it was the demon that came to the ring, because he does that thing with his arms, and he opens up his arms, played some Creed.
Goddamn.
Fuck, that would have been amazing.
I knew you were gonna say that.
With his arms wide open, Finn Balor with his arms wide open. No, some Creed.
No.
Fuck.
I think his theme song fits him.
Yeah, I don't know if Creed would be the perfect song for Finn Balor, to be honest.
Definitely not.
But okay, but going back to the point, why Slayer and why South of Heaven?
I don't know. I mean, I feel
It's
like,
menacing.
Yeah, I was gonna say South of Heaven is very menacing, and I think it fits the whole theme. Because to have a theme song or like an entrance music, it not only does it have to fit the character you are, but it has to fit in a way of walking to the ring and whatever. You can't choose a song that has a fucking long ass chorus or a Neil Blavaskara song to be your. You can't do that because it doesn't.
I know, but then why even play Alter Bridge after? It just diminishes the whole.
No, because the Alter Bridge song is perfect for
I
an
guess
entrance.
it's his theme song anyway.
Well, it's his theme song, but it's also that song is perfect for entrances.
I
Because
think
it hypes up the crowd too.
I actually I'm gonna go beyond. I think I know that while Slayer was a great choice, South of Heaven was not such a great choice. I understand from it's a very menacing riff, and if the idea is I'm gonna bring you and take you all the way to South of Heaven, which is hell, like it's Hell in a Cell. So from a Hell in a Cell point
It
of
makes
view,
complete sense.
from a Hell in a Cell point of view, South of Heaven plays off of that. It makes sense. And then obviously Alter Bridge coming after because it's his theme song. It makes sense. But I think considering the feud that he's having, not just with Finn Balor, but with his former clique, right? Like it's his former group. He was the leader of that group, him and Priest, and then he got. Oh, you don't even know that?
I don't fucking know that.
Okay, so he has a clique with Rhea
Damon
Ripley
Priest.
and Damon Priest and Finn Balor. They were like a group, but then they kicked him out. They took over the group. They
Okay.
kicked him out, and they brought Rey Mysterio Jr.'s son. Into
Yeah.
I mean, what a trade-off that was. But anyhow, I honestly feel, considering that beef, which is what was the groundwork that laid itself into this match, I think Dead Skin Mask would have been a much better song. Especially if you play that part, I promise I won't keep you long, I'll keep you forever. Like, the darkness of Dead Skin Mask, which is like you taking people's skin and creating your own skin, you know, like the
I know
movie
what you mean.
Silence of the Lambs. In the song Dead Skin Mask is based on a serial killer that did that. I think that sort of thing would also play really well in terms of he wants to skin them alive, like
Yeah.
because they beat up his wife.
Oh, they beat up Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, they beat up Beth Phoenix. So there's this whole thing like, you know, beating you is not enough. I'm gonna fucking skin you and wear your skin, wear the demon skin. So while I understand South of Heaven, you know, it is a Hell in a Cell match. I get that correlation there, and it's actually really intelligent of whoever had this idea. I don't know who had this idea, but whoever it was they
very
fucking
smart.
know their metal. I'm going to say that. I honestly think Dead Skin Mask, it would have been absolutely gorgeous for that.
Definitely, but I think to do Dead Skin Mask, you would have to play that part at the start, right? But I think they just want to start off with the riff that...
The riff is menacing.
Because the riff is also not only menacing, but it alerts you. Right? Dead Skin Mask starts, you know... You need that line so it wouldn't alert you. This alerts you. That stomach-churning riff really does alert someone, and all eyes are on him. And then when it kind of goes away and then Altered Bridge kicks in, then you go from being alerted and kind of stomach turning and everything to being hyper, because the Alter Bridge song is very hyper, gets people going. So in my opinion, yes, Dead Skin Mask would have been a good song, but whoever chose South of Heaven did a great job, because I think it was the perfect song for it.
I honestly gave this some thought afterwards, and I started to realize that Slayer has great songs for wrestlers. Like, it really does. If you're having one of those first blood matches, you know, the first person to bleed loses, you can play Raining Blood as the guys are coming down, or you can play it at the end when one guy is like covered in blood. If you're watching some old school footage of Chris Benoit, you can play Mandatory Suicide. I mean, like, there's great fucking songs that Slayer has for wrestlers, I must say, you know? If you're doing like a lucha libre to like two small guys, You can play Expendable Youth. Play on the fact that they look like little kids. You know, like Rey Mysterio and his son. When Rey Mysterio, Expendable Youth would have been perfect for that. You're still on the Chris Benoit one, aren't you? So
That's a deep cut.
Well, you know, there were some deep cuts, but it is what it is. So anyhow,
I think the Raining Blood would fit more for like you know how AEW does Blood and Guts.
Yeah,
that's a pay-per-view. Yeah, the song for that pay-per-view could be
That's a great idea too.
That's a good idea.
But I'm saying Slayer has great songs for wrestling in general. That goes with themes of pay-per-views, themes of wrestlers. This kind of just opened my appetite to hear more Slayer at wrestling matches. I don't know. I was taken back. I honestly wasn't expecting it. I was like, who the fuck is walking out to Slayer? And then I see it's Edge. So, anyhow. And then you ruin it with Alter Bridge. But,
That's like my favorite Alter Bridge song.
It's the only song I really like from Alter Bridge, to be honest with you. So.
I don't like their music. It's just that song...
I'm not a fan.
That song has so much... It has a place not only in history as probably their best song, but a place in my heart as bringing me back to my childhood and stuff, because Edge has had that song as his...
Oh, for a long time.
It's since like 2011 or like 2010,
for a long time.
Like whatever. So or even before that. But like, he's had that song for a long time. So as I've grown up, Edge has been like one of my favorite wrestlers.
By the way, when he came out, he was
song.
Wearing, the big raincoat that he normally wears?
Yeah.
He had the Brood on the back.
Yeah,
Him, Christian, and Gangrel. That was cool.
Which was also a really cool theme song. The Brood, that song... That
was the only good thing about the Brood, was the theme song.
Their theme song...
As a group, it was only those two guys that were good.
But the thing is, their theme song and their entrance and everything was cool as fuck. I just don't know why they didn't play off it more. I think they were
but the leader of the Brood was like the worst wrestler of the three.
He was a clobberer. Like, he was just a big guy who would clobber people. He wasn't technical like the other two. The other two were technically good.
They changed the game, by the way, with the ladders and matches.
Yeah, but he was just a brute. You needed someone like him to be the muscle, because the other two weren't the muscle. They were more technical and the thinkers and stuff. He was more of a muscle.
That was a great group, though.
They were a good group.
Yeah, that was a good group.
He sometimes still wrestles, even though he kind of has a janked up leg now.
Does he?
Yeah, he does it for the fans.
Oh, I thought he did it for the lols.
Oh.
Everybody does it for the lols.
Well, he still spits the blood and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
He still has the fangs, or he has some cavities now?
He has the fangs. I think those are real fangs too.
No. I saw a documentary and he didn't have fangs.
Oh, you did? I swear to God, he has them every time I've seen him.
Because he's married to another wrestler. I should
even
say.
in documentaries, I see him. They still has them.
Does he? The ones I saw, I didn't notice the fangs. Anyhow, that was Slayer at WrestleMania. I must say, it was probably one of the best things that WrestleMania had, outside of Shane O'Mac blowing his knee 30 seconds into the fucking match. Outside of that, which was glorious.
His entrance was longer than his actual match.
Hey, but Snoop Dogg came to the rescue.
I know.
Fucking Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg came to the rescue. So anyhow, I think they could have made it even better, like you said. Alter Bridge, Slayer performing the songs live. That would have been fucking epic. But, we got some Slayer at WrestleMania. I think it also showcases how metal and mainstream is starting to become more intertwined.
Well, I think...
But wrestle always done that.
Yeah, I feel like wrestling and metal have always been a good team. It's always been a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think most people that listen to metal also enjoy
watch wrestling. Yeah.
I think there's a Venn diagram that crosses there. Yeah, there's a Venn diagram that crosses there. All right, guys, let us know your notes on what you thought about WrestleMania, on the showcase of the Immortals this past weekend. What a fucking long weekend it was. I mean, there was wrestle to be had. So let us know your thoughts on all of the matches. And on Slayer being played as the walk-on music. Yeah, entrance music for Edge. Hit us up in the comment section. We'll see you all next week with another video.
See ya.